video number 5, I think, on June 10th, 2018. This is the Bethesda reaction press conference and grading. So let's get into this real quick. This is going to be the last one of these things I do today. It's like, because it's late. But I'm going to do one real quick. I'm going to get it out there. So Bethesda opens up with Rage 2. You know, they made some good jokes about how, you know, the wonderful people at Walmart Canada, how they can't keep a secret. But they seem to be, you know, very, you know, they seem to be very jovial about it, kind of just joking. But it's done by Avalanche Studios and id. So it's a first-person shooter. Id is really good at those. Avalanche is really good at big open world with lots of destructible environments. So combining these two together seems to be a good idea. The interaction was a little bit clunky between the two people they had up there for representing those two studios, and for some reason Andrew WK sang a song before. He did a song before, and it's like he hasn't been relevant since 2001 when he did Party Hard. Don't get me wrong, I like the song Party Hard, but the song that he did up there didn't sound like Party Hard. But Rage 2 looks really good. I just don't play FPSs, but it looks cool. I mean, it looks great. They said it should be out spring of 2019. My favorite part, they said that the name of the character is Walker, and they called him Walker the Last Ranger. So I'm sure anybody who knows it's a play off of Walker, Texas Ranger. I don't know if this guy's supposed to be a Chuck Norris type. I don't know, but it's like everything about the game looks cool. Vehicles, the world looks really cool. It's a gigantic open world. It looks awesome. But first-person shooter, I doubt I'll get it, but I might. I mean, it looks pretty sweet. So then the next game they go into was Elder Scrolls Legends. It's a card game. It's coming to the Switch, the PS4, and the Xbox One. And all I can say is, I don't care. I don't. It's a card game. There are so many of those. I didn't even know that was a thing. I didn't even know there was an Elder Scrolls card game, but there is. But for people who love card games, it'll probably be very cool for you. So, I mean, card games are very popular. There's tons of them out there. The people love them. I'm just not one of them, but I know that there are a lot of people out there that'll probably download that thing and have a great time. So, I mean, you know, that's what gaming's all about. We're all different. We all have different tastes, and there's going to be a lot of you that dive right into that bad boy. Then they did the Elder Scrolls Online. They talked about some new story DLC, and Wolf Hunter was a DLC, which has to do with werewolves and more dungeons. This is at this point I start... early on, it was very clunky. Pete Hines did a really good job coming out and introducing, but then it seemed like everybody after them seemed to think they were always going to get cheers after they said something, and if they didn't, they would kind of do this and try to get people to cheer, and it looked pathetic, in my opinion. It just looked bad. It's like the fans don't want to cheer everything. They're happy they're there, and they're probably happy with whatever you're talking about, but they're not going to cheer every silly little thing that you put up there in front of them. Like Elder Scrolls Legends, that card game, I'm guessing not a lot of people knew about it, so I don't know why you thought you were going to get a lot of cheers. And they cheered when you mentioned Elder Scrolls Online, but then to keep mentioning other stuff and expect more cheering, it just became a little bit silly that they kept pandering to the crowd, trying to go, come on, more cheers, and it's just like, let the crowd just enjoy it. It's like you don't have to be cheered for every little thing you say. The next thing they announced was Doom Eternal, a sequel to Doom. That looked really good too. The trailer for that looked really, really good. They're going to talk more about it at QuakeCon in August in Dallas. But the trailer that they showed, the little bit that they showed, it looked amazing. It really looked good. If you like the first Doom, I'm guessing Doom Eternal is going to be right up your alley. It looks really good. but not a whole lot. They didn't say a whole lot. They're going to say more later. Then they talked about Quake Champions. Okay, Quake used to be a big deal. They talked about Quake Champions getting into, I guess, they showed a little bit of it. To me, I don't know, it looks like a less spectacular Overwatch. I never played Quake, so I don't really know what Quake is about, but it didn't look as good as I thought it should. This is one of their big franchises that they're trying to resurrect, and it looked unamazing. It really did. I was not interested in it in the least. It will be free to play, I guess, through early access if you sign up. For this week, you can play it June 10th to June 17th, and I guess if you sign up fast enough, you can actually get to play it for free until they release the game. So, that's pretty cool if you get signed up real quick. And I guess you got to do that at BethesdaNet.com. But to me, the game looked okay. I'm not an FPS guy, and this was very FPS heavy with Rage 2, Doom Eternal, Quake Champions. Doom Eternal, at least, I thought really, really looked cool. Rage looked cool, too. Quake, not as much. Then they talked about Prey. They had a free update that they're doing tonight. And then they talked about a Moon Crash DLC, which I guess basically just runs you through a bunch of scenarios and it's never the same twice. And, just kind of endless gameplay, and the thing is escape the moon. Okay, it's just a simulation you're running over and over and over again. And, if you love Prey, you're probably going to love this. Then they talked about an online mode where 5 people play as mimics against one player who is a human. But the 5 players that play as mimics can disguise themselves as anything they want. So, I would hate to be that one player trying to figure out who's the mimics. Because I would hate to just go around that world just going, everything could be a mimic. But that actually sounds really cool. Then they announced Wolfenstein. They talked a little bit about Wolfenstein. And they announced a new game, Wolfenstein Youngblood, which stars B.J. Blazkowicz's 2 twin daughters. And it takes place in the 80s. This game is going to release it's going to release in 2019. They didn't give really a specific time. It can be played solo, or it can be played in co-op with a friend. So that seems pretty cool that you could play that game with somebody else. The Wolfenstein franchise, by what I've seen, has been resurrected pretty well. It's just the sales of their games don't seem to reflect just how good they are. I mean, they are very good games. They're just not selling as well as they should, really. So, playing as the twin daughters, the new Wolfenstein game, once again, looks really good. Hopefully it'll sell. Hopefully they'll release it at a time where it's not going to be piled in. Don't release it in February of 2019, please. You've already got a lot of competition there. Please release it a little later so that you don't have as much competition and you can really give that game the attention it deserves. Then they announced VR for Prey and Wolfenstein. In Wolfenstein, you play as a hacker and you get to take over Nazi robots to destroy Nazis. And why not? Because it's fun to destroy Nazis. Then Todd Howard came out and he basically spent the rest of the show. And of course, what did he talk about? Well, the one everybody wants to know about, Fallout 76. I probably will not be buying this game. It's online only. You can play solo, but usually in games like that, where you play solo, you're going to get destroyed by other players. It sounds like you can be a bad guy or a good guy all in the same world, which means I would get destroyed because I like to play the good guy, but a lot of other people like to be the bad guy, so I just get destroyed. So I probably won't be buying the game, but a lot of really cool features. It takes place in 2102, of course. You're one of the first. The world looks amazing. The world looks really good because it hasn't been as destroyed yet, and they have some really cool new monsters that are in there. So you're not going to see you'll maybe see the Death Claw in an early evolution, but you see a lot of really cool different monsters, and it does take place in West Virginia. And And he doesn't call it hardcore survival. He calls it softcore survival, which he says death does not lose progression. So you don't lose your progression upon dying. It's not permadeath. And all of your progression, no matter where you play, what server you're on, or where you're at, all of your progression carries with you, no matter where you are in the Fallout 76 servers or universe. So it carries through to everything. If you're playing by yourself, or whether you're playing with friends, or just playing with a bunch of other people you've never met, it carries through for everything. Cool thing about it is there are nuclear missile sites. Todd Howard and his team have decided to let us have control of nuclear missile sites. So you just go in, you get the codes, you have to find the people that have the codes, and then you can just launch a nuclear missile anywhere on the map you want. It's like, okay. I remember deciding that detonating the nuclear armament in like Fallout 3 was a big decision. This, you can just go get the codes and nuke anybody you want. But the game looks cool. Really does. Looks great. If you love that type of a game online, playing with other people in a world like that, it's going to be fun. Let's face it, Bethesda knows what they're doing when it comes to those games. It actually releases this year as well, November 14th, 2018. So this game is close. But it is. If my friends all buy it and I can play online with them, and I'm not trying to solo this thing, I'll probably get it, because it will be a lot of fun, and I'm hoping they will buy it so that I can play it with them. Then they announced a phone game, a mobile game, that they're going to release on every platform that they can. Elder Scrolls Blades, which it looked really good, and it fits on mobile devices. You can play it on an iPhone 10, and they're going to try to make it on. It's going to be free to play. They're going to try to put it on a lot of different platforms. So Xbox One X, Xbox One, PS4, Switch, PC, everywhere. And it's a free-to-play game. So it makes me wonder where the microtransactions are going to be. But it looks really cool. It's a very immersive game. You can do arenas. You can do, I think, dungeons, and then you can build your own town. So you play as one of the Blades, which is an elite basically fighting force that was exiled. You came back and your town was destroyed, so you got to repair it. So that's part of, you rebuild your town. It's part of what probably makes it a mobile game. But it looks really cool. Once again, if you sign up with Bethesda.net, you can get early access to it and play it with everybody else. Then they announced a new IP, Starfield. Starfield, I don't know, all they did was kind of show a space station and a planet. They didn't really show much, so I don't really have much to go on. And then they said, and then the game that everybody's been asking about, they finished the show with a little pan over the land of Elder Scrolls 6. So Elder Scrolls 6 is confirmed, but it's just kind of a panning over of the land, and that was it. There was some good humor in this. They did a thing on Skyrim, on releasing it on like the Amazon Alexis thing, and they were releasing it on Etch and Sketch, and coming soon to your Samsung, refrigerator. It was there was some good humor in it. Todd Howard's part was really good. Pete Hines was good. Everybody else in the middle, just way too clunky. But how would I grade this? You know what? I'll give them a B. The Elder Scrolls 6 confirmed is great. Starfield, I still don't know about. I don't really care about the card game. I don't really play Elder Scrolls Online, although it looks good. Doom Eternal's awesome. Quake Champions, don't care. Didn't play Prey. Don't play Wolfenstein. The VR stuff, I can't afford VR. The Fallout 76, disappointed. I can't really. It's not going to be like Fallout 3 or 4. It's going to be an online game. So my excitement kind of went down on that. But I definitely give them a solid. I'll give them a B plus. Give them a B plus, because there's a lot of games that you all are going to love out there. And Todd Howard's part was really good. Todd Howard had some great humor, and so did Pete Hines. And I laughed a lot, so I liked it. So with all that being said, to the troops, past, present, and future, thanks for the freedom.